own paths and still meet in the middle with a kind of harmony this world doesn't see often. Two people who have been nothing short of a blessing to this space. Anthony and Lazarus, partners, poets, and powerhouses. They are the embodiment of beauty, magic, and resilience. They walk through this world with a courage many of us could never muster. A courage that refuses to shrink, a love that refuses to dim, and a truth that refuses to be quiet. Perseverance through persecution. Unafraid to live out loud, unafraid to be fully who they are, every shade, every story, every triumph. And what moves me most about them is this. Their presence feels like permission. Permission to breathe deeper, permission to be more honest, permission to take up the space we deserve without apology, without fear. And when they walk into the room, they dominate it. Yeah. And they elevate it. Yeah. They've only been with Food for Thought for a few months, but from day one, they've shown up like they've been here forever. The way they pour into this mic, this space, into all of us, the way they remind us what authenticity really looks like, y'all, it's truly something special. So tonight, it's my honor, my joy, and honestly my privilege to introduce our beautiful, magical, unstoppable features, Anthony and Lazarus Halliwell.
Lature, sweetheart, love, that was an incredible introduction. Thank you so much. You are incredible. Love you. Laying down some bars tonight. It's only right that you come to see the brilliance that is me, that is thee, that is we, as we simply exist and just be. So pull up a chair and take part in this affair that we call life. Woo! 26 April 1937. I don't know what I do best anymore except turn pain into something beautiful. But what about the horrors of it and not the glory? I want to take what I feel and not what I say, turn it into something 11 feet tall and 25 feet wide. But my hands are little. My hands are little and no paintbrush is small enough to catch all the detail. I'm tired of walking over thresholds of bombed out buildings or a half-built house. I'm tired of only seeing rubble. I'm a builder, damn it. I'm supposed to build people up. I'm supposed to help, not have nightmares like flashbacks that crush me. So I dare myself now. Put your own oxygen mask on before you drop that bomb, and then stay a while before flying away. 2. Thresholds are for brides. And I was a bride once, but that was a moment, and I wore a dress as red as blood. People asked why I did that. I know why I did that now. I did not know how else to say I was angry when my mind was taped shut and I was kept in a fog. Damn those pills. Damn the nightmares. Damn the house that should have caught fire with all inside. I am not the crazy child kept in the attic. Not anymore. I am the human unchained. I am the one that walks free. I have doors now. I have miles in my pockets. I can and will lock you out. And there's blood on their hands. They kicked the child when they should have loved the child. But when they dropped the bombs, the empty house of my mind caved in. But the structure is stronger than that. I am stronger than that. And this is me calling it what it is. You make your own hell, I say to the bombers. I say to the horrors that I experienced. Some people see battlefields. I have seen a mind turned inside out. I have been trapped in my own body. I have seen my innocence die before me, and I shouted into the hole of loss, and I'm still hearing the infinite echo. I don't know which is worse. You make your own hell. I say to the demons I fight, your hell is not mine. Your chains are not mine. I am not your wall to punch. I am not a pewter cup to drink from and laugh with. Your hell is not mine. Not anymore. This is me calling it what it is. Hell. And I enter it on my own terms. Not yours. Not anymore. 3. Airplanes up in the sky. I know airplanes. Of course I do. Sometimes you're the bomber. Sometimes you're the little town in Basque country down below. I like to think God laughs at tragedy so that at least someone finds it funny. But a brain is the bomb, and there's a cruel irony in it eating itself when it was the best brain I've ever known. The roads were clogged with rubble, and there was no way out. There never was. Not when the brain is the bomb and you're the little town in Basque country down below. Not when the brain belonged to your favorite person and the bomb is also a death sentence in an MRI scan and the execution date is to be determined. So many bombs making a hole in a heart so deep, I'm still trying to find the bottom of it. There's no bottom. But I will not die here when I've died 10 million times already and I'm choking on this metaphor as I write. No harm in 10,000,001. That was Guernica. Thank you.
Binders are in. Newsboy caps are in. Out are the days of bras and black satin panties. Out are the feminine florals. Out are the items that, with that damned pink tax attached. Button-up shirts are in. Testosterone injections are in. Facial hair is in. Out are the days of birth control that did more harm than good. Out are the doctors who gaslight women. Out are the days of endless red from between my legs. Hello, sir, is in. Let the man speak is in. Out are the days of silence enforced by the perception of others. Out are the days lived in womanhood. Out is the confusion where my identity and body clashed. Authenticity is in. Persecution is in. Marginalization is in. Out are the days where I could pass as a cisgender heterosexual woman. Out are the laws that kept me safe. Out is the comfort of social stability. Hate crimes are in. Legitimate gay panic. Legal defenses are in. Discrimination is in. Murder is in. Political policing of my existence is in. Hypocritical accusations of pedophilia are in. Death by virtue of existence is in. Safety is out. Comfort is out. Stability is out. But at least I have my integrity.
Woo.
With the way the world is, meds are in, but I am out. Not old hat, but amongst the world. My heart no longer beats triple time unless I'm falling asleep. But there's a pill for that too. Magnesium oxide to pass the fuck out at 3 a.m. The fear may be slowly winding its way out of my system, but I'm still wound tight in a dark place where the pills and the sex and the screaming and the gin and the fracturing never quite manage to reach me. I can hide here for years if I need to, internally or externally. When I was a child, we had a 300-year-old grandfather clock with a manual winding mechanism. Its hands at 10 and 2 looked like an angry face. By the age of 3, I already expected rage sooner than I expected a gentle touch, and that clock looked angry too. I would watch it for hours in the hopes that it wouldn't frighten me. I was never quite successful, but I learned to tell time on analog clock faces with a morbid fascination so that I could anticipate when the hands would leer down at me again or how much time I had before its tinny bell would make me jump out of my skin. I learned to become as tightly wound as it was because at least that torture was predictable. At least that face I could read. It seemed that the people around me spoke a secret language I wouldn't decipher until I was older. They weren't mechanical like clocks or tightly wound like me. Others were as much strangers to me as I was to them. I learned to live in my head, constructing elaborate worlds that few ever saw to cope with the terror, the loneliness, the longing, the confusion. I learned as I got older to stop talking about my inner worlds. It was beaten into me by time, torture, and experience. But as others ventured outward, I stayed in my head, even if it looked to the outside world like the same face, the same mind, the same person. I became as mechanical as that clock. I built new faces, tried on new clothes, learned how to camouflage my terror, my pain. I internalized the idea that people only wanted the art that spilled out of me compulsively and that nobody wanted to know how or why I did it or me at all. I faded in and out over the years, in and out. I became a god, a fraud, a madman, a victim, an addict, and a whore. I recovered from some, but not all of the above. I still don't recognize who I am when I look in the mirror. That clock's winding mechanism is broken now. When you wind it up, it will chime and chime faster and faster until it finally falls silent. That's a decent enough metaphor for how I've felt my entire life. Thank you.
Dear heterosexual cisgender folk, why is when I enter this hallowed room, you suddenly act less civil, less woke, and treat me like I didn't come from a womb? Dear all human beings who bring me doom, why is my gender and sexuality a conversation tossed across the room like living guarantees fatality? Dear people shouting abnormality, when did my existence become a crime? You seem to lose all rationality when I fight just to exist all the time. Being different from you isn't a sin, and I pray in the end, love will win.
For now, the night carries me bridal style, into the land of the houses that bite down and the storms that are orange and gray. I saw a green storm in Edmond, Oklahoma once. I was too young to know what it was. All I remember was a song called I Hope You Dance, and I hope you never have to dance with a cyclone. For now, the mattress isn't above me. You have no idea how much I want to crawl beneath it. 2 a.m. is howling in my ears and breaking down my door, and there's nowhere to go but dreaming. No way out but through. Backwards will get you killed, and you can only push on. Through the thunderstorm is the only way you will see light again. For now, they say there's light at the end of the night, no relief in this fear that's floating light like a body on top of dead seawater. But what they don't tell you is that the waking won't end the nightmares. That the cyclone you dance with is yourself. And it's not the house that gnaws off your arm. It's your twisted perception of a so-called truth.
Wow.
Delusional, retard, pedophile, necrophiliac, irrelevant, pathetic. These are the terms that are used to describe myself and my siblings in humanity that don't fit the mold set by a totalitarian government who deems us unacceptable within society. Like being outside of the affluent, Caucasian, cisgender, heterosexual norm that has pervaded our society marks us as unworthy of the label of Homo sapien. Like the perception of a so-called truth that was compiled by men thousands of years ago and approved by a pagan emperor is all that matters. Like how willfully ignorant opinions of others dictate our existence, our truth, our reality. Like how breathing the same air as my siblings in humanity who differ from myself is enough of a crime to warrant public execution. Or is it euthanasia? Suicide? Which one is it that brings us down? Which one of us will stand our ground? We may be a minority, but we hold our own authority over ourselves and our lives. You wish to control what isn't yours when things that are different to your view chastise and bore. Shove a cylindrical peg through a square hole and all you get is friction. To think all of humanity should fit a single mold is nothing but a laughable work of fiction. Inherent traits within us, though they differ big and small, they do not make us any less. They connect us all. For sameness does not mean safety. And though familiarity does breed comfort, being comfortable in what is familiar does not mean that you are safe from harm. So sound the alarm. Take up arms as we defend our only home. Our earthly skin, which we live in, is ours and ours alone. And for those of you who hear our cries and meet us on opposite sides with being patient, we're done. We've all but won. And may your life, like you, be a pleasant one.
I was born in an otherwise normal middle of June at the tail end of Tornado Alley. I'm a Gemini, Scorpio moon, half air, half water, all storm and tremendous force. Say what you want about astrology, Scorpios or Geminis, I'll tell you what I know. I learned as a young child why they named storms after people. Perhaps some seal or some levee broke in an unseen place upon my birth, because death would dog my every step, and I swear on my father's grave that hell would follow after that. 9 months after I was born, I got sick twice, 1 week apart. The first virus took out my immune system. The second took out my heart, but I was a fighter. They hooked me up to a machine that would breathe for me. 1 dose of the meds they gave me would knock out my full-grown, linebacker-sized father for 10 hours because I refused to go quietly, like a Category 5 hurricane slamming into the coastline during the worst season on record. I ripped through death and pain so goddamn hard that death had a near-me experience. Then came a sepsis scare, then a stroke, then near starvation. Each time I wailed a hurricane, 157-mile-an-hour straight-line winds. Death learned to hate to see me coming, all before I was 3. I learned to watch the storms that mirrored my soul, learned to love the wind and the water, find peace in the howling and the sickly blue-green sky. In 2000, 2 tornadoes tore through my city, devouring chunks of the skyline. There are still signs and monuments there if you know where to look. Nobody thought I'd live to see 18, 21, 23. They bet against me, calling me crazy, plotting against me, betraying me when I needed them most. I learned to become inevitable, to channel my force into words, into song, into low-pressure systems of my own. So their plans didn't hold. Their levees didn't hold. They cracked under their own weight and were washed away in the storm surge when the people didn't evacuate in time. When I was 25, my boyfriend called me what I was, a barely contained hurricane. I lived with a lover when I first moved to Milwaukee who worked on emergency alert machines. I learned the names of my surroundings when storms rolled in with the same passion in which I learned about her, the same way I studied the storms when I was younger. And I wonder if someday someone will name a hurricane after me.
Woo! I just realized barely contained hurricane starts with B in his stage.
Love that. I close my eyes and behold what is seen. Waves of moss green and electric blue crash across a vacant hue. Lemon lime bolts and purple rivers induce shivers as they reach over my field of vision, of visionary wonder. My world is torn asunder while breathing burgundies bloom betwixt and between. These colors and more fall on the scene as Cream City plays host with the most musings to offer. She fills my coffer with the most valuable things. The choir sings as we meet under an inclusive flag of progression. Now, here's my confession. As I stand on the altar of Milwaukee's queer culture, I will not falter as I say, I'm gay.
Come on.
Let's go!
Peak Milwaukee queer culture is slipping off for a smoke at the ER in practically below freezing weather and smoking in the deserted, practically flash-frozen garden, dressed in at least 2 layers, including your Carhartt coat, which you got from one of your kindest exes and is 2 sizes too big for you, even now, until you can't feel your fingertips. Peak Milwaukee queer culture is being afraid to leave your house for years because you ran into the person who made you homeless again over a series of cascading misunderstandings at the same hospital, only to find out through a person you've always carried a torch for that they were so afraid of your eventual return that they packed up most of their polycule and fucked off to Denver. Oh yeah, same. The Denver airport is abominable. Peak Milwaukee queer culture is, despite your isolation, sounding Midwestern despite not being born or raised here. Peak Milwaukee queer culture is moving away from Milwaukee with her, with only the clothes on your back for 8 months under the guise of a visit, allegedly, after your partners no longer seem to hear you and it feels like talking to your mother all over again. Peak Milwaukee queer culture is missing the lake and her dull, deep silver roar even months after you've last seen her, no matter how much you love your new city, no matter how much you want to move back east. You call her your wife, just as you have since the first moment you saw her, and your love for her feels more queer than any relationship you've ever had. Peak Milwaukee queer culture is always moving back to Milwaukee. Peak Milwaukee queer culture is building a life with your soulmate and your soul community in Milwaukee, no matter how shitty and cold it gets here. You learned a long time ago this town will provide, and you saw the best and worst of humanity here. You saw bitter winters shudder into the most beautiful springs you've ever beheld. You know and love this city's underbelly, and you firmly believe that you cannot truly love a city without loving the soft, violent, vivid, pulsating underbelly of it first. Peak Milwaukee queer culture is forever having to show other queers who aren't from around here where your town is on a map. And despite your mixed feelings and experiences here, being goddamn proud to live here.
360 degrees of perfection, dizzy as I spin, vying for your affection. Impossible, it seems, to catch your eye, no matter how hard or how often I try. Turn on the gas as I voice an objection, for I am the mirror showing your reflection. The limit of your ineptitude is the sky, while your manipulation I stand tall to defy. Imagine what you could do if you learned to evolve. Caught in a cage of perfect dimension, quiet and contrite to ease the tension. Rage at the role you play building within, but as long as you're here, no one will win. Even now, I don't truly have your attention as we rot in this jail of your invention. What tale, I wonder, will you try to spin to play victim or martyr to absolve you of sin? It's impossible to express just how little you matter in the end.
There.
I am the blank space you seek in your sorrow. Nothing less, and sadly nothing more. You are the shooter, and I am the spotter, immortal, ever watchful, keeping lookout for dangers you and others cannot see. I am the depth of night, the tiny pauses between your syncopated heartbeats working double time. In the end, there will be no place for me. I learned a long time ago that no one would save me, so I built my armor piece by piece and became the watchman, became the tower, built my own hell, brick by agonizing brick. Did you ever truly love me? Or did you love the black void canvas you could project everything you wanted and wanted to be onto. Do you love me? Or do you love my silence? The fact that I can read you like a page and know you better than you know yourself. There's a reason prophets go mad in fiction, you know. We see too much. We know too much. We scream warnings to ears unheeding. What do you do when I'm not there? Do you scream? Do you sing? Or do you cease to exist like me?
The difference between you and I is that I own my shit. I don't lie.
Reloading.
The difference between you and I is that I own my shit. I don't lie. Yep, I did that. That's right. I've done this. But the difference between you and I is that I don't act innocent. I don't lie. I take accountability. I don't blame shift. And the difference between you and I is that I have my integrity. I don't lie. I make amends to those willing and able to accept. I don't change my morals based on the company I'm manipulating to impress. Ultimately, the difference between you and I is that my patience is vast. I don't lie. It takes lying, gaslighting, manipulating, triangulating, rage baiting, stealing, neglecting, exploiting, controlling, and conspiring to make me homeless, to inspire a collection of poems recalling what you did to me with a smile on your face, with claims of love whispered from your forked tongue. I don't need to have a clean glass. What's different between us? I'm not perfect. I don't pretend to be. I own my mistakes, and I learn from them. I mend what I've broken, and I don't lie.
They said what the fuck they say.
One. The sky is crying gray rust-felt tears, just as it will for the remainder of autumn. I stay behind when my war-torn body can no longer carry me, playing violin songs in the car that remind me of the rain and the war, more swoops, loops, plucks, and pedals than their original intention. The jaundiced journalists these days shout edicts from their superiors about invasions from within, imagined causes and effects. But my body has never been anything but a battleground. In a way, these ultra-violent whites will never understand, and they'd rather aim their loaded questions at anyone but themselves. Save them for someone who has ever gotten the chance to recognize themselves in a mirror. 2. In rare moments of peace, we come to a ceasefire, perhaps in a dream, and write what we love about one another on each other's skin, and promise each other that it isn't a lie. And for the next 20 hours, I feel beautiful. Until you can no longer stand the pain, and you're back to the same old dead end, chasing God or chasing me straight to the bottom of a bottle. And I am the empty pewter cup my father drank from as a child again. The words you wrote are gone, washed away as if by autumn rain. 3. I shave my face and feel better, more like the better half of my broken mirror soul, until I see myself in photographs and realize that I am a cut, torn, copy-pasted image of my handsome, hot-shot cousin with teal eyes now, and I feel terrible that beautiful women have been beaming at me all night. Perhaps I am lovely, but I have returned from this journey with less than half myself than I had when I began.
Wow.
4. In my dreams, you explode into a field of yellow flowers in the springtime. Lature, thank you for laughing at part 2. You gave me the energy not to cry.
Journalism was so clever.
Thank you.
Get in there, man. Joe, TMJ for
Nah. Gideon's one of the good ones.
I wrote jaundice journalism down.
It's based off of yellow
Yellow journalism. Yes, I caught it immediately.
Good. I'm glad you get it.
Yeah, it's great.
Let us pray. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. To be honored and revered by name alone sets a juvenile and dangerous tone. Hold up. I don't intend to offend with this trend, so hold the phone. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Into the next world may your will be unfurled, but why not here, as I shed a tear over the trembling fear that we are bound for the underworld. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Community care and mutual aid prompts bitterness to fade, but when forgiveness begs, I release the dregs to apologize to the disease between your legs because you cheated and strayed. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. You were not evil, but a lesson. A wealth of knowledge like a casein that you have for me, and it took this pain to see for you to be lacking in importance as you lessen. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory. For perspective is diluted and skewed when the lies you maliciously brewed come back to rob you of the power that grew from the words that were less than true, your morals exposed as manipulative and lewd. Forever and ever. And now the time has come for me to release what made me numb. Your hallowed name granted you glory and fame when temptation begot trespasses in your game. Now may your will wither as I beat my drums into forever. Amen.
I've spent too much time wrapped around the axle of your love. 3, I wish I didn't miss you, winter's sour. I am regretfully tightly wound and solemn. Every day's a funeral, and I break the cold ground hours before daybreak. This is one burial that is long overdue. I don't hate this city. I've come to love it, perhaps in spite of you. I make praise to its neighborhoods and the lake effect snow. My world is finally becoming bigger than the 4 walls that we share. You no longer dictate the pace, nor do you set the price of it. There was once a time that I would have gone out and bought the entire city for you, if only you'd asked, unto half my kingdom, but you never did. And now you hate me for things that you never had the courage to say. And the lies that I drank from your mouth like a perverse communion, for when I laid us to rest, you had only ash to wear and nakedness. So wander these cold, crooked streets wild, calling for someone to cover up what you did. Some new soul to eat your sin, while I repair the frayed ends I tore from you.
Clever. Yes.
My heart song falls on deaf ears, while growing up it appears, as if my native tongue is screaming, my loved ones unintentionally deceiving the child I once was. Abandonment becomes my fears as my face is wet with tears. My sanity I try retrieving, unless I keep on believing the burden I once was. By gods, it's been over 30 years. As the adult within me peers, I feel like I'm floating, dreaming, as I view her radiant face gleaming, embracing the man I always was.
I was 17 when you first came to me, mind threatening to unravel in shades of crimson. Now I swear everything's coming up lavender and golden brown. I'm much madder now. And while I can't say things are fine in this pit of snakes we live in, at least I feel somewhat safe now that I found the melody I was looking for. The problem is that I sought you high and low in all the wrong places, wrote my best songs and lines to all the wrong people. It's sad to say that you found me at my worst, but you loved me anyway. I'm a stubborn piece of shit, and I know that you know that. So are you. It's part of why I love you so fucking much. Neither of us know when to quit when we know exactly what we want. So are we living the dream? Maybe not yet. But do we have the grit to get there? Abso-fucking-lutely.
Yeah.
And one thing's for certain, I know I will never be bored again. So thank you. Thank you for not giving up on this raging bitch. Thank you for sticking it out, because I loved you endlessly then, and I love you endlessly now.
Yeah.
Does love truly conquer all in the end? In the end, love keeps us moving forward. Humans spend lifetimes trying to defend a love they cherish of their own accord. Love is a daily choice, oft left ignored, placed aside while other pursuits linger. If left unattended, it leaves us bored, hung over our heads like a death bringer. A small band placed on your left ring finger can't save what isn't consistently tended. Heaven nor hell could employ a singer to sing of true love if left unmended. Love conquers all things that stand in our way, should devotion never wither away.
Come on.
Love at first sight is a horrid cliche and speaks to the chemistry in your mind. Initial promises to forever stay are swiftly and with regret left behind. Love's something intentionally designed, a daily choice more than a destined fate. How it looks is something you'll have to define and willingly share with a chosen mate. But let this not place a burdening weight on your heart should things become too hard. Choose love every day and open the gate to mutual healing of what's been scarred. The past holds what keeps you shut out from love. Together, move forward and rise above. There is a history of hurt and pain in love stories left to the birds to rot. It seems attempts to repair are in vain when peace between us is no longer sought. The triggers and trauma leave you distraught. It's exhausting to even want to try. The good times shared have all but been forgot, when staying seems to hurt worse than goodbye. Except our past does not disqualify the work that heals the grief we share between. With grace, we can soar beyond the blue sky, a romantic comedy movie scene. We've come so far and are better because we're healing together. That's what love does.
You asked me once, suspended over a chasm of grief, why I loved you. I couldn't string the words around you to tell you then, so I shall attempt to tell you now. You are a lavender field, earth still wet from spring rain, and loving you is learning to dance again, hair still wet through the rows of flowers on these crippled legs. No matter how long it takes to get the steps right, no matter how long it takes to move without falling, you are a game of chance, and loving you is the tenderest risk I've ever known. Loving you is lilac, pale blue, and gold, like the subtle ring around your irises when you look at me. Loving you is slow mornings and evenings that always seem to go too fast. Loving you is enough memories to fill a Martian year and enough emotion to fill an entire planet. Loving you is savoring 1001 days and nights for all their worth and never, ever taking each other for granted. Loving you is allowing myself to be broken open and reborn again and again. Loving you is allowing you to do the same. And loving you is meeting the people you love. Because it's never just been us against this crazy world. And finding that I trust you even more after doing so because they're some of the finest people I've ever known. You are multiverses. You are adventure. You are passion and fire. You are the ripple of time dancing. You are everything and nothing at once. Loving you is learning to hold all of that in a single touch. And God, does it feel so good. I bet everything I had and then some on you because the moment I saw you, I knew I was yours and I would fucking do it again in a heartbeat. And that is why I love you.
Hey, hand me the mic.
I love that.
The years we've spent came and went with a legacy to show. We helped each other grow, and I already know how that's why I'm giving you my vow. With your consent, I like to submit through tears and woe down the Styx and Hades below. The winter we met marked your descent, but with me in tow, we made the masses say, whoa!
Wow!
Through loving embrace and argument, we built an unbreakable covenant that fostered a natural rhythm and flow. Whether I spit it fast or slow, you gave me my voice, confidence you endow. The same I've done for you. We're each other's mic now.
I knew I didn't have it.
I cannot tell you how much you have changed me in these 2.5 years. I am not the man that I was when we met, and I'm damn glad for it. I have called you spouse in every way possible except
Oh my
God. Lazarus, Halliwell, would you do me the honor of making me your husband?
Of course. Yes, baby. Wrong hand.
Wrong hand.
Congratulations. I don't know what else to say, but congratulations. We need a DJ for the wedding, you know, the song. Damn. Lature, you can get your license to do weddings. I'm sure they will. Okay. Somebody do the wedding. Shit.
What a proclamation of
Wow.
love.
Y'all, I'm speechless. Y'all hang out. Jesus Christ. That's wild. Okay. Salud. I'll play some good music now.
Love, so many things I want to tell you, but I'm afraid I don't know how.
That sounds like a breakup song.
Sound like a breakup song.